It all began in January when the first of what would be more than 400 people reported that they had become sick after eating contaminated beef.
It was a war zone.
7 new cases of E. coli poisoning were
3 young E.
confirmed.
coli patients remain hospitalized at the
The
Sauer
infection claimed its first life.
It's a war zone, not only from a media hype perspective.
2-year-old Selena Shribs of Mountain Lake Terrace died also.
But it was an actual war zone if you'd gone out to the Children's Hospital. They were flying in dialysis machines from Minneapolis.
There are 21 kids in Western Washington hospitals.
January 1993. Western Washington faces a food poisoning outbreak. The source, Jack in the Box.
Jack in the Box
Jack in the Box restaurant.
Some meat folks call, Jack in the Box, their 9/11.
And some experts say it's all about to get worse.
They got highly contaminated, E. coli contaminated hamburger, and they were undercooking the hamburgers. And so it was a perfect storm.
A perfect storm with catastrophic consequences.
5 deaths, over 600 people sickened.
Brianne Kiner remains in critical condition in the intensive care unit.
She had been infected.
Among the most critically ill, 9-year-old Brianne Kiner. Images of her flash across TV screens as she slips into a coma. Her mother, Suzanne, watches Brianne linger between life and death for 45 days.
She's horribly brain damaged. She started having seizures.
The outpouring of community support was overwhelming for this little girl fighting for her life.
Brianne was a case you just don't forget.
Seattle attorney Bill Marler represented Brianne in a landmark lawsuit against Jack in the Box.
This kid is part of a larger E. coli outbreak.
Over the years, he has sued corporate food giants for millions of dollars. But that wasn't enough. He's also a nationally known food safety advocate, whether it's testifying before Congress for tougher laws or putting victims on the front page of the New York Times. Marler's message is clear.
I'm not trying to convince people not to eat meat. I just think that our meat producers need to produce it in a way that, doesn't poison and sicken kids.
It's estimated that 500,000 people are hospitalized and 5,000 die each year from foodborne illnesses. One culprit usually associated with ground beef is a virulent strain of E. coli called E. coli 0157H7, virtually unknown until the late 1980s.
E. coli 0157 specifically has absolutely no margin of error.
E. coli 157 is commonly found in cow manure. If mistakes are made during slaughter and processing, fecal matter can contaminate the meat. If tainted beef is consumed, for some, the results are devastating.
Stephanie Smith is in a drug-induced coma tonight, and doctors at the Mayo Clinic say her condition is about as bad as it can get.
She eats a hamburger. 4 days later, she's hospitalized. She suffers multiple strokes, and one so severe that it causes her to become paralyzed. She was a 22-year-old dance instructor.
The outbreak that sickened Stephanie was one of 16 in the last 3 years, leading to recalls of millions of pounds of beef across the country. But for victims like Stephanie Smith, that offers little comfort.
I do the best I can.
She's brain damaged and she's wheelchair bound, and that's her life.
I lost my only passion for life.
Just because she ate a hamburger. I mean, it's really hard. But that's the reality for her.
And the reality for consumers is that it's not just unsafe meat threatening our food supply.
E. coli 0157 is everywhere in our environment now.
The spinach that caused the outbreak was washed and bagged right here on August 15th, 2006.
Since 1995, 20 E. coli outbreaks have been traced to salad greens.
The farm where the lethal strain was found grew spinach on 50 acres of land nestled amid thousands of acres of cattle.
Whether E. coli was windblown or carried over by animals running through the fields, contaminated spinach poisoned more than 200 people and caused several deaths. Marler represented the Armstrong family, whose 2 little girls became seriously ill after eating spinach salad. Ashley Armstrong nearly died.